Okay, so we've come to the end of our 5th DVD in our Particle Flow Fundamental series. What have we actually looked at in this series? Well, we've looked at particles in their most fundamental level. What should particles be used for? What shouldn't they be used for? We've looked at particle flow, how the user interface works. And in the other DVDs in this series, we looked at the operators and the tests and the forces and deflectors and so on. In this DVD, we've run through practical examples of what particles can be used for. And I think in running through these different examples, we've really come to understand the sort of power and flexibility that we have with particle flow. I think you can use each one of these effects as the basis for your own effects, and you can also use each one of them as the basis for your own studies. The thing about particles is there's a lot of sort of R&D involved. You can wire a particle flow in pretty much any way you want. It's very, very procedural. There's a great amount of experimentation that can be done in any one flow, and it's very easy to customize a flow to work in a slightly different way just by wiring it up slightly differently, changing the order of some of your operators, adding new operators, changing a few parameters, and all of a sudden you can have a radically different effect. Particle flow is a fantastic addition to 3ds Max, and I hope this particular series has actually given you a really good insight into what you can do with it. In our next DVDs, we're going to be moving on to a new level where we're going to be looking at intermediate and advanced level particle flows. Now, how do I define intermediate and advanced level? Well, the most basic definition of intermediate is any particle flow in which we use scripting. Now, I'm not going to move on to start showing you particle flows where we're using advanced scripting. I just want to show you examples where you literally cannot do the effect without using some sort of scripting. But generally that scripting is actually quite simple. As an example, in the firework display chapter of this DVD, I wanted to produce fireworks that actually produced a heart shape. And I couldn't do that with the standard particle flow operators. With a small amount of scripting, I could have actually got formers to go along with our rockets and actually produce the heart shapes that I desired. So this is probably something that we'll be looking at in an intermediate DVD. By advanced, what do I mean by advanced? Well, when you're talking about advanced, again, we're talking about scripting, but in this case, we're talking about advanced level scripting where we have quite convoluted scripting in our flow, and also where we start to bring in other elements of 3ds Max, which are probably also at an advanced level. If you look on the CG Academy website, you'll see there's a free tutorial on particle spiders, which I did a number of years ago. And this example shows you how to use rigs to get particles to actually synchronize their animation with the particles themselves. Now, that is something I would probably class as being an advanced particle flow, because it uses more advanced level scripting, the rigs are more advanced, the flow itself is of sort of intermediate level, but the entire package comes out to being sort of quite an advanced level. The other thing I'd talk about in advanced level particle flows is where we really start to stick together very, very convoluted, very, very large flows. So there's a real sort of a blurry area going on there with intermediate and advanced effects. So I hope you've enjoyed this fundamental series. I hope you'll join me in our intermediate and advanced DVDs. I hope you have a good time exploring particle flow, and I'll see you around another time. Goodbye for now.